6 armed demonstrations after Election Day. Researchers say one anti-government group that uses an 80s movie as code for starting a second civil war could use peaceful protests to incite violence.
Fox 46's Matt Grant uncovers new details about one of the militias active in North Carolina.
I want you to take your weapons out of my neighborhood.
In May, armed protesters took to the streets in Raleigh, angry over the governor's stay-at-home order, some wearing Hawaiian shirts, a signature of the loosely organized far-right anti-government group, the Boogaloo Boys.
There is absolutely a concern that these individuals are inspired to commit acts of violence and are intending to do so.
John Lewis is a research fellow with the program on extremism at George Washington University. He says over the past year, there's been a rise in domestic violent extremism.
Why do you guys all have Hawaiian shirts on?
Like when investigators say this man plotted to kidnap Michigan's governor. Others, including former North Carolina Marine Daniel Harris, all allegedly have ties to the Boogaloo movement. According to the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, the Boogaloo movement wants to start another civil war and is active in North Carolina, which, according to a recent report, is at a moderate risk for militia activity following the election.
So much of their, central tenets and their ideology has been that the government is trying to take away your rights and is trying to crack down on your gun ownership. When you then see big government come in and try and lock people down, for lack of a better term, they then see those red flags very brightly.
Supporters claim the movement is about defending democracy.
Most of the guys in the Boogaloo movement, they're 20-some-odd-year-old libertarian guys that believe in freedom. They believe in the Constitution. They're not looking to pick a fight with anybody. They just want peace.
In June, Facebook began banning hundreds of groups with ties to the Boogaloo movement. To get around that, Lewis says members started using coded language like Big Igloo or Big Luau to rally and recruit. In Charlotte, Matt Grant, Fox 46.